ever get that feeling? Like your brain's just buzzing,
Yeah.
overflowing. Kind of like that lyric, input overload, I can't see straight.
Oh, absolutely. I think we all experience that.
Right. It's like this constant digital deluge. Yeah. And today we're doing a deep dive into this whole thing, information overload, what it is, how it messes with us, and hopefully how to, find a little bit of peace.
Some quiet in the chaos.
Exactly. And to guide us, we're tapping into, well, some pretty fitting lyrics, actually, from Kurt Holes.
Yeah, input overload. Great track.
Really gets at the heart of it. Like,
Mm.
he talks about this digital chaos in my brain. So I'm curious, from your perspective, what's actually going on up there when we feel that way?
Well, it's interesting, right? Because our brains, they weren't really designed for this constant barrage of information. The way we're bombarded with notifications, updates, news feeds, it's like we're tethered to this fire hose of information.
And it's not just the amount, it's the speed too, right?
Exactly. It's relentless, and our brains, they try to keep up, but it's like juggling, you know? You add one more ball, then another, eventually something's going to drop, and that's when we start to feel that cognitive overload.
And the lyrics really capture that feeling.
Yeah.
Like, lost in the noise, no quiet moment.
And that's a key point, that lack of quiet. We're
Right.
constantly stimulated, which makes it incredibly difficult to truly focus on anything.
It's true, there's this expectation to always be on, connected,
Mm.
which kind of reminds me of that other line, screens glowing bright, can't close my eyes, every moment another surprise.
Ah, the addictive nature of technology, that fear of missing out, the FOMO, it keeps us hooked. We end up chasing those little dopamine hits from likes and notifications, even when we know it's not really good for us.
Like a vicious cycle.
Right.
Right. But okay, so we're feeling overwhelmed, our brains are fried. Holes sings about needing a vacation from it all. So how do we actually unplug?
Well, it's tougher than ever, that's for sure. But it starts with, well, being intentional, setting boundaries. And not just with time, like scheduling offline time, although that's important, but also boundaries with the type of content we consume.
Like maybe instead of scrolling through, I don't know, 100 different social media posts, you choose to read one well-written article.
Exactly. Or instead of subscribing to every newsletter that pops up, you pick a few curated sources that align with your interests.
Being more mindful about our information diet.
Precisely. It's about quality over quantity. Ask yourself, why am I consuming this? Is it actually adding value to my life, or am I just mindlessly scrolling?
Because it's so easy to fall into that trap, those rabbit holes. And then you emerge hours later, like, where did the time go?
It's that feeling of trying to focus, but it's in vain, right?
Yeah.
Like whole sings, it can feel like an uphill battle, but it doesn't have to be about completely disconnecting either. It's about finding a balance.
So finding that rhythm.
Exactly. And it's a process. You don't have to go from constantly connected to a digital detox overnight. Small changes can make a big difference.
Like turning off notifications for a bit.
Exactly. Or maybe dedicating a certain time each day for focused work or relaxation, completely tech-free.
So as we wrap things up here, I think the big takeaway is, well, we're all grappling with this constant influx of information. But we have more power than we think to navigate it.
Absolutely. We get to choose what we let into our minds.
So I'm curious, for you listening, how do you find those moments of peace? What boundaries can you set today to reclaim your attention, to find your own rhythm in all of this noise?